I grew up in a really small country town and used to go to the local newsagents, and they used to get these fashion annual magazines in. So I'd go down there and either spend my pocket money or just hang out in the newsagent and read the magazines. And then I'd see all the collections coming out from Europe. I realised that fashion was a job, basically. This whole idea of creating characters through clothing. I'm Mandy and I am a fashion practitioner. My interest in fashion began when I was a very small child. My grandmother used to babysit us on weekends, and I was given a sewing machine, I think when I was maybe 4 years old, and started by making dolls' clothes and slowly progressed to making things for myself. And then I guess as I became a teenager, I started becoming interested in film and costume for film. I became involved in a really small theatre company and was working in costume in this theatre company, which then led me to apply for NIDA, the National Institute of Dramatic Art. So I did the costume course at NIDA, and pretty much immediately on graduating, I went to work for Baz Luhrmann and Catherine Martin on Australia. My Churchill Fellowship was in 2015, and it was to develop a greater understanding of period garments and the research of those garments. And then I also was interested in corsetry. So I started my fellowship at the Victoria and Albert Museum Archive in London, and also did some experimental pattern making courses at Central St Martin's. I then went to Guetaria in Spain, and it's where the Balenciaga Museum and Archive is. I then went to Paris and did 3 weeks with a 3rd generation corset maker. From that meeting, I met somebody who asked me if I'd like to go and work in a couture atelier. Went there for close on a month. And then I went to India to a beading and embroidery specialist. The Churchill has definitely had an impact in terms of this idea of sharing knowledge, which is kind of one of the main points of doing this. When I first came home, I was still working in film, which means that I had other people working with me, and I was able to kind of share the information I had received in that kind of way. But now I'm a lecturer at RMIT in the School of Fashion and Textiles. So I'm sharing this kind of information every time I go into a classroom. So the application panel for the Churchill, I really felt like they wanted me to get it. They just needed to make sure that I knew exactly what I was doing. You have to be pretty clear and succinct in your idea and what it is that you're going to do. A lot of the panellists are kind of just really curious to know who you are, what you do. And we all come from these kind of quite interesting jobs. So it was actually a really nice just one-on-one conversation. I think the best advice I could give somebody that was about to embark on a Churchill is to obviously have your kind of overarching subject or area of knowledge that you want to gain, but be open as well, because opportunities arise.